This was an unusual weekend with a one-day break between qualifying and race day. That would have given the teams extra time to prepare and make sure the machinery was in tip-top condition for the race. The deep sandy conditions which always prevail here in the Low Countries were suiting the likes of Etienne Bax and Casper Stupilis. They'd been fast in qualifying and they put it to good use in the race. When the gate dropped for race one, it was the wily Stuart Brown who got to turn one first, with Daniel Willemsen and Valentin Giraud hard on his heels. These three then set a cracking pace at the front, with Willemsen and Rostang quickly moving into the lead. Koen Hermans, from being fastest in qualifying, had a shocking start and got tangled up. He then had a race-long fight to make his way through the field. This he did, eventually getting into 8th place. The Kusch brothers from Switzerland are another crew improving hugely over last season. They rode strongly at the front and were destined for a top 10 finish. Charging through from a mediocre start, Bax and Stupilis were quickly up with the leaders and made their intentions obvious as they then set after Daniel Willemsen. Once past him, they opened up a significant gap as Marvin van Leeuwen and Ben van den Bogart tried to follow them through. The reigning champions were to make it up to 4th place at the finish ahead of Davy Sanders and Stuart Brown. Giraud and Haller consolidated 3rd, and that was a good result for them in conditions they appear to be growing to like. Meanwhile, it would be a brave man to bet against Etienne Bax and Casper Stupilis in this form. Race 2, and away they went again. Just as before, the left-handed chair of Stuart Brown and Josh Chamberlain hit the front and led the pack round turn 1. And, just like before, Daniel Willemsen and Luc Rostang were there in his wheel tracks. Unlike last time though, Etienne Bax and Marvin van Leeuwen were also lurking, and these established stars of the sandy going will be a formidable challenge for Brown to repel. Sure enough, he eventually succumbed, but was to have another solid point-scoring ride to 6th place. Fighting through again were Koen Hermans and Nicolas Mousset, and once past Brown, they set about catching Willemsen. They were followed by Julian Velman and Glenn Janssens, who were the final crew to take a place from Brown and Chamberlain. But for this, Brown would certainly have been 4th overall, but consistency is what counts, and he's nothing if not that. Valentin Giraud and Andres Haller made hard work of the early stages of the race, but delivered another strong performance, fighting through to an eventual 9th ahead of Jake Brown and Joe Millard. Etienne Bax and Casper Stupilis could not have had a better day. They won the second race here by 25 seconds. They brought the red plate here level on points with Van Leeuwen, but they go to Kramelin in the Czech Republic with a 10-point advantage. Stay with us here on FIM-Sidecarcross.com for all the news as it happens, and make sure you catch the Oldebroek Highlight Show later in the week.